Hello, everyone. It's Frank, and we're getting ready for the Michigan Chauffeur license test. This license is crucial for anyone transporting passengers or operating certain vehicles for employment in Michigan. Let's make sure you're well prepared with these key questions. What is the primary purpose of a Michigan chauffeur license? To operate a motor vehicle for hire, transport passengers for hire, or operate vehicles with a GVWR of 10,000 pounds or more for principal employment. This license ensures drivers meet specific standards for professional driving roles. On to the next one. According to Michigan law, how far must you park from a stop sign or traffic signal? At least 30 feet. This ensures visibility and prevents obstruction for other drivers. What's after this? When driving a vehicle weighing over 5,000 pounds, loaded or unloaded, outside a city or village, how far must you follow another vehicle? Not closer than 500 feet, except when passing. This provides a safe following distance for heavier vehicles outside of congested areas. Moving on. What is the maximum height allowed for vehicles on Michigan roads and highways? 13 feet 6 inches. Always know your vehicle's height and watch for clearance signs. So what's next? How many feet must you start signaling before you plan to turn or change lanes in Michigan? At least 100 feet. Early signaling gives other drivers enough time to react to your intentions. Next on our list, commercial vehicles with a capacity of 1,000 pounds or more must have how many outside rear view mirrors? One on each side of the vehicle. Two outside mirrors are essential for adequate rear and side visibility in larger vehicles. Okay, what's after this? If a load extends 4 feet or more past the rear of a vehicle's bed or body, what must be displayed during the day? A red flag or cloth at least 12 inches square. This is a visual warning to other drivers of the extended load. Let's move on. What must be displayed at night if a load extends 4 feet or more past the rear of a vehicle? A red light. At night, a red light is required for visibility of an extended load. What about this next one? What is the maximum speed a truck with a gross weight of 10,000 pounds or more may travel on a Michigan freeway with a maximum speed greater than 70 miles per hour? 65 miles per hour. Even if the posted speed limit is higher, trucks over 10,000 pounds have a specific maximum speed limit on these freeways. On to the next question. When approaching a downhill grade in a truck, what is the most appropriate way to slow down the vehicle? Shift to a lower gear before starting down the hill. Using a lower gear provides engine braking, which helps control your speed and saves your service brakes. Moving forward, why is it dangerous to apply brakes while in a curve? It may lock the wheels and cause a skid. Braking in a curve can reduce traction and lead to a loss of control. Let's consider the next one. What is the best way to maintain control when approaching and driving through a curve? Slow to a safe speed before entering the curve, then accelerate slightly through it. This technique helps stabilize the vehicle through the turn. And the next point. If you park a disabled vehicle on the shoulder of a road, where must warning devices be set out according to Michigan law? 100 feet in front of and behind the vehicle, and at the road's edge within 10 feet of the vehicle's front or rear end. Proper placement of warning devices is crucial for safety on the shoulder. What's next? How do you dry wet brakes after driving through deep water or heavy rain? Slow down and then apply the brakes gently until they work properly again. This friction will create heat and dry out the brake components. Moving on to this. To provide time to react to changes in traffic, how far ahead should you look? At least 12 seconds worth of travel time. Scanning 12 to 15 seconds ahead allows you to spot hazards early and plan your actions. All right, let's see. When entering a highway from a driveway, private road, or alley, what must you do? Stop and yield the right of way to approaching traffic. You must ensure the path is clear before entering the flow of traffic. What's after this? What is the primary cause of rollovers in larger vehicles? Driving too fast on curves or ramps. Larger vehicles have a higher center of gravity, making them more susceptible to rollovers at higher speeds and turns. Next question. If your vehicle begins to skid, what is the first thing you should do? Take your foot off the accelerator. This helps regain traction and control. Let's get to this one. When should you use your low beam headlights? When driving within 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle or 200 feet of a vehicle you are following. Low beams prevent blinding other drivers while still providing necessary illumination. Okay, what's next? What does a triangular orange sign on the rear of a vehicle indicate? It is a slow moving vehicle. This sign warns other drivers that the vehicle travels at 25 miles per hour or less. Moving on. If you miss your exit ramp on a freeway, what should you do? Continue to the next exit. Never back up or cross medians on a freeway. So, what's next? What is the proper hand signal for a right turn? Arm and hand extended upward. Know your hand signals in case your vehicle's turn signals fail. Next on our list. What does a solid white line on the road signify? Crossing is discouraged but not illegal. It generally indicates a lane boundary that you should stay within, but it's not a strict prohibition. Okay, what's after this? What should you do if another driver is tailgating your vehicle? Gently slow down to increase your following distance and allow them to pass. This gives you more room to react and encourages the tailgater to move around you. Let's move on. What are blind spots on commercial vehicles? Areas around the vehicle that cannot be seen in the mirrors. Always be aware of your blind spots and check them thoroughly. What about this next one? When operating a vehicle for hire, what kind of demeanor should a chauffeur maintain? Professional and courteous. A chauffeur represents their service and should always provide excellent customer service. On to the next question. What is a key reason for maintaining adequate following distance? To give yourself time to react to sudden changes in traffic. This is fundamental to preventing rear-end collisions. Moving forward, what is the maximum width of a combination of vehicles, truck and trailer, in Michigan? 102 inches. This standard width ensures safety on Michigan roads. Let's consider the next one. What is required to be displayed on the rear of a vehicle if its load extends more than 4 feet beyond the rear at night? A red light visible from 500 feet. This ensures the extended load is visible in low light conditions. And the next point. What is true regarding medical examiner certification for chauffeur license holders in Michigan? It is needed if operating a vehicle 10,001 pounds or more, designed for 16 plus passengers, or transporting hazardous materials. If your chauffeur duties involve larger vehicles or specific loads, medical certification is required. What's next? What should a chauffeur do with their driving record? Carry a current copy in the vehicle, available for review if requested by a prospective passenger, limousine drivers. This applies specifically to certain for-hire services like limousines. Moving on to this. When should a driver inspect their vehicle's lights, turn signals, and reflectors? During the pre-trip inspection and periodically during the trip. Ensuring all lights are working is vital for safety and communication. All right, let's see. What is considered a proper step for pre-trip vehicle inspection for a chauffeur? Checking fluid levels, tires, lights, and general vehicle condition. A thorough inspection ensures the vehicle is safe and reliable for passengers. What's after this? What is the most common reason for a vehicle to be pulled over for inspection by law enforcement? Visible vehicle defects. Ensure your vehicle is always in good working order to avoid unnecessary stops. Next question. If your vehicle is equipped with anti-lock brakes, ABS, how should you brake in an emergency? Press the brake pedal firmly and hold it. ABS will modulate the brakes for you to prevent wheel lockup. Let's get to this one. When driving in heavy fog, what lights should you use? Low beam headlights. High beams will reflect off the fog and reduce visibility. Okay, what's next? What should you do if you encounter an aggressive driver? Get out of their way safely, avoid confrontation, and prioritize your safety by letting them pass. Moving on. What does a yellow flashing light mean on a school bus? The bus is preparing to stop to pick up or drop off children. Be prepared to stop when you see a yellow flashing light on a school bus. So, what's next? What is the penalty for texting while driving a commercial vehicle in Michigan? Can result in fines and points on your driving record. Texting while driving is strictly prohibited and carries serious penalties. Next on our list, what is a basic rule of proper following distance for any vehicle? Allow at least 2 to 3 seconds under good conditions. This provides a safe buffer for reaction time. Okay, what's after this? What should you do before backing your vehicle? Get out and check behind your vehicle. Always GOAL. Get out and look before backing to ensure the path is clear. Let's move on. What is the purpose of a vehicle's suspension system? To keep the vehicle stable and to absorb bumps in the road. A good suspension system contributes to ride comfort and vehicle control. What about this next one? What should you do if your accelerator sticks? Shift to neutral, apply brakes, and pull off the road safely. This allows you to stop the vehicle even with a stuck accelerator. On to the next question. How often should you check your vehicle's tires during a long trip? Every 2 to 3 hours or 150 miles. Regular tire checks help prevent blowouts and ensure safety. Moving forward, what is the primary danger of driving with worn tires? Reduced traction, especially in wet weather. Worn tires increase your risk of hydroplaning and skidding. Let's consider the next one. When must a chauffeur operating a motor vehicle, taxi, limousine, or TNC vehicle have a current copy of their driving record in the vehicle? When requested by a prospective passenger. This is a specific requirement for certain for-hire passenger services. And the next point. What should you do if your vehicle breaks down on the highway? Move off the road, turn on hazard lights, and set out warning devices. Prioritize safety by getting off the road and warning other drivers. What's next? What is the best way to avoid a collision with an animal on the road? Slow down and be prepared to stop or steer around it if safe. Prioritize safety over hitting the animal, but don't swerve into oncoming traffic. Moving on to this. What is the purpose of vehicle placards for certain loads? To warn others of hazardous materials being transported. Placards are vital visual cues for emergency responders and the public. All right, let's see. What is the primary responsibility of a chauffeur when transporting passengers for hire? The safety and comfort of the passengers. A chauffeur's top priority is the well-being of their passengers. That wraps up our study guide for the Michigan Chauffeur License Test. Keep reviewing these important safety regulations and driving practices. Knowing this information is key to a successful career as a chauffeur. Good luck.